You ever get that feeling you're being watched? Well, these days, that feeling is becoming a technological reality, and on a scale we have literally never seen before. We're going to dive deep into the world of smart surveillance, a technology that's moving so fast, it's promising us incredible safety, but also asking some really tough questions about our freedom and our privacy.
And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, let's start with a number. By 2025, the global market for surveillance tech is expected to hit over $92 billion. Yeah, billion with a B. So this isn't some niche industry on the sidelines. This is a massive global force that is actively reshaping our world, from how we run our cities to how we secure our businesses.
So, what's really changed? Well, in a word, everything. The whole point of surveillance has completely flipped. We've moved on from those old, grainy CCTV cameras that were really only useful after something bad had already happened. Now we're in the era of smart ecosystems. We've gone from just passively recording things to deploying AI systems that can analyze, understand, and even predict events before they happen. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a completely different ballgame.
And you know what? That shift comes with some pretty incredible promises. So for the next few minutes, let's look at the best case scenario, that utopian vision of how this technology can create a safer and way more efficient world for all of us.
Okay, so at the heart of this whole revolution are a few key AI tricks. Modern systems can identify stuff, people, cars, even a weapon, with over 98% accuracy. But it goes so much deeper than that. They can analyze behavior to spot when something's off, like someone loitering where they shouldn't be. Then they use that data to predict potential threats and automatically send out alerts. It's basically like having a security guard who never blinks, never gets tired, and can literally see everything everywhere all at once.
And this isn't just some sci-fi theory. Look at this real-world example from Washington's Union Station. After they rolled out AI video analytics, security incidents dropped by a staggering 37%. And get this, the average time it took to respond to a threat went from 8 minutes all the way down to less than 2. That is a huge, immediate impact on public safety, all thanks to this tech.
And we're already moving to the next level. We're not just talking about simple facial recognition anymore. The most advanced systems are now using something called multimodal biometric fusion. It's a fancy term, but what it means is they combine data from your face, the unique pattern of your iris, and even your gait, the specific way you walk, to identify you with insane accuracy. The whole point is to get rid of the errors and false positives that plagued the early systems.
So what does it look like when a whole city puts all this together? Well, Seoul in South Korea gives us a pretty good idea. Their urban intelligence network uses over 50,000 AI-powered cameras to manage the city in real time. And the results? They're just mind-blowing. Commute times are down by 23%, pedestrian injuries are cut by 37%, and they're even preventing critical infrastructure from failing. It's the smart city dream made real.
It all sounds pretty amazing, right? Safer streets, cities that just work better. But all of this newfound power comes with a price tag, and it forces us to ask a really, really tough question.
Because for every promise of safety, there's the danger of being watched just a little too closely. So now we have to turn to the other side of this double-edged sword, the very serious ethical and political problems that come with surveillance when it's left unchecked.
To really get a handle on the risk here, let's walk through a scenario. Imagine a secret government program, let's just call it DOGE. On paper, its mission is to improve government efficiency. But what it's really doing is creating a single, massive database by pulling together information that was never, ever meant to be linked. Think about it. Your entire work history from Social Security, all your financial details from the IRS, your travel records from Homeland Security, and even your private medical history. All that data you gave for one specific reason is now merged together to create a complete 360-degree view of your life. Now, legal experts would be absolutely horrified. A program like this is exactly what Professor Daniel Solovey calls the total surveillance state, the very thing privacy advocates have been screaming about for decades. And here's the scary part. By combining these legally separate datasets in secret, a program like this could sidestep basically every privacy law we have. A program like DOGE would, without a doubt, end up at the Supreme Court, and it would trigger a constitutional crisis. The legal fight would probably boil down to two totally opposite views. On one side, the government might argue,
hey, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy for data you already gave us. But the dissent would fire back that this logic effectively eliminates meaningful consent. They'd argue that it renders the Fourth Amendment meaningless in the digital age. You can see the huge fundamental conflict right there.
Okay, but beyond the risk of Big Brother, there's another massive problem. The technology itself can be seriously biased. Study after study has shown that facial recognition systems just don't work as well for women and people of color. In some systems, the false match rate for Black women is up to 35 times higher than for white men. This isn't just some little bug, it's a systemic failure that can lead to things like wrongful arrests and just make existing inequalities even worse.
And if you want to see where all this can lead when it's used for social control, you just have to look at China. There, a huge network of over 600 million cameras is tied into a social credit system. This system literally gives citizens a score based on their behavior, what they do online, what they do in public, and that score has a direct impact on their ability to get a job, buy a plane ticket, or even get housing. It is without a doubt the most advanced surveillance state in the world today.
So wow, we've seen the incredible promise, and we've seen the pretty terrifying peril. The path forward isn't about picking one or the other. It's about us, as a society, making some really critical choices and building some guardrails to shape the kind of future we actually want to live in.
So, how do we do that? How do we find the balance? Well, experts are proposing a framework built on 4 key ideas. First, purpose limitation. Simple, right? Data collected for your taxes shouldn't be used to track your politics. Second, proportionality. The surveillance has to fit the crime, so to speak. You don't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Third, transparency. This is a big one. We have a right to know how we're being watched. And finally, accountability. There have to be clear rules and real consequences when someone misuses the system.
You know, a really key part of the solution is this cool concept called privacy by design. The idea is, instead of trying to add privacy features after a system is already built, you bake them right into the technology from the very start. A perfect example is something called Edge AI, where the data gets processed right there on the camera itself. This way, the system can send a simple alert like unauthorized person detected without ever having to send the actual sensitive video footage to some central server. Pretty smart.
And ultimately, this all leads us to what might be the single most important point. The security expert Bruce Schneier puts it perfectly. He says the question isn't if we'll have surveillance in the future, because let's be honest, that ship has sailed. The real choice we have to make is about our values. Are we going to build systems that strengthen democracy or systems that slowly eat away at it?
And that leaves us with one final, critical question to chew on. We know surveillance in some form is here to stay. It's just part of our modern world now. It's inevitable. The real question, the one that we all have a say in answering, is whether accountability is inevitable too. Are we going to demand it and build it into the system to keep all this power in check?